Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Middle-Aged Gamers from Dimension X. My name's Eric, also GI Gamer 81 on Facebook, and to the other side is Tristan Ibarra, the famous author of this beautiful book here, the video game console collector's field guide, and he also works for Premium Edition Games.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. No, this is actually awesome to be able to sit down and talk to you about the Nintendo Direct yesterday. I mean, we'll get to that, but we haven't really talked about it since it happened. And yeah, you said that this is our first episode, but well, it's actually our second episode technically because he and I, Eric and I, we recorded our first episode. I don't know, a month ago, 3 weeks ago. It feels like a month ago. And somebody right here, this guy right here talking, idiot, forgot to push record. So we talked for an hour. And
yep.
It's
gonna be the director's cut of our show. You know, we're gonna give you that episode later as a special
levels.
Hidden one.
It's the Lost Levels.
That's right. Yeah, it's absolutely Lost Levels. or it's the Metroid Prime 4 of podcasts.
Yeah, that's right.
You might get in 6 years.
We'll just keep telling you that it's coming next week, and it never comes out.
I know. I feel like Metroid Prime is like that dad that always says he's going to pick you up, but he never does. And you just sit around sad all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like Eric was saying, we're the middle-aged gamers from Dimension X, and some of you Ninja Turtles fans with the deep cuts might see where we're coming from. That was like. I don't know about you, dude, but that was like my favorite episode of the Ninja Turtles, and that was one of the VHS tapes that we got from freaking Burger King. And dude, I remember I wore it out.
Well, we didn't have like DVD, so like I would go to Burger King. I got the whole episode sets, and I would like wear those out, like wear them out real bad. But I honestly, I'm gonna say this, you're gonna laugh. I hate the neutrinos. I absolutely hate them. I hate the voices. The funny thing is on the B side of it. Is the original, like if you see the original toy, it was actually supposed to be like a Foot Clan like vehicle, and you'll see them on the box and everything like that. But then in the cartoon they changed it and gave it to the neutrinos. The deep cut of it is the comics. You know, there's different stages of the comic, and they go in space. And part of going in space, they meet everyone knows like the Triceratrons. I think their name is. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But they're part of the like Dimension X and stuff. But yeah, I wanted to make a podcast for just fun things, not like it's gotta be specifically video games. It's gotta be specifically Ninja Turtles. It's all fun things across the board. Hey, you talk about holograms. Everything in that era, we lived in, and it's kind of cool that. Me and you are in that same generation because we got to see the whole process to current gen today. So it's going to be a pretty awesome perspective to see it from our eyes and also see it from new lenses as well with all these new popular games coming out.
Well, yeah, and Eric, I mean, you hit the nail on the head as far as like what nostalgia we grew up with. I mean, it's 80s and 90s nostalgia basically. But both you and I are heavily into pop culture back then, video games, toys, sports, food, you name it. I mean, like freaking cereals and just anything that like hits that nostalgic that vein. Pump it right in. I love it. And that's what we're about on this podcast. Like we're going to talk about news, reviews, opinions. We'll do unboxings from time to time, but for now, we're just kind of introducing ourselves. This is obviously our first show doing this middle-aged gamers from Dimension X. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. We have a list of topics that we're going to go over. Obviously, I talked about the Nintendo Direct happened yesterday, so that's going to be a pretty heavy one during this first episode. And man, it reaches back to what we were talking about, that nostalgia. And we'll get there, but yeah.
So today we're going to talk about, like I said, Nintendo Direct. We're also going to go over, some pickups that we've gotten over a few weeks or so. and we also have what I want to start is like a question between us, and then something you guys can answer as well. In the comments in this podcast. And the question today is going to be what inspires you to collect. So once we get to that topic, but we're going to treat it like just like PTI. We only give a set amount of time to talk about it, and then we go on to the next topic. When you hear the sound, then that means we're going to be changing over to another topic. That sound right there.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're aware of that, that we want to keep this short, simple, and sweet. We only give you about an hour. So we're going to start talking about the Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct, it seems lately like they're the popular kid in school. Like, oh my God, Nintendo Direct's coming around the corner. We just got to go follow it. Everyone obsesses with it. I'm not a big fan of the Nintendo Directs. Yeah, I'm excited that I get the games that I enjoy, but I feel like there's too much hype with it with social media. I literally yesterday especially a guy that I like a lot, his name's Sean Long, RGT85. He always jokes about like how people have like a sickness of Nintendo Directs, that every week someone rumor mills there's going to be a new Nintendo Direct. It's coming today, and what's going on, and blah blah blah. And I think that's right. I mean, it's just kind of out of control with everything hyping, because I feel like they can't live up to those standards most of the time. So it's kind of hard when you have like a dominant IP like Nintendo that drops crazy stuff all the time. What do you think about it?
No, you're right about that. They're constantly trying to outdo themselves, and I mean, they're kind of their own problem in that regard, because everyone's clamoring for the next Mario, everyone's clamoring for the next Zelda, everyone's clamoring for the next Metroid, and no one can like get satiated. No one's really good with Nintendo unless they like come through in their eyes, and either they're a failure, they don't come through, they don't like deliver, or Nintendo wins the internet. And past Nintendo Directs, I got to say, like, it's been pretty disappointing for me. I'm not a Fire Emblem fan, so you hear about it all the time.
Either.
I'm not a Pikmin fan. You hear it about all the time. I'm not really a big Kirby fan. You hear about that all the time. So, in a Pokemon fan, like, it's those four freaking things. It seems to like just saturate every Nintendo Direct in the past like couple years, and like, I've been waiting. Like, when's the Nintendo Direct for me? When is it gonna be? I'm holding out hope. It's like every single year. I look forward to the home run derby. I'm like so hyped for it. I'm like, oh man, gonna crush a bunch of home runs. And then I sit down and watch it. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just disappointed now. Why was I so hyped about this?
I think the hype is what kills it a lot too. And then you think about it too.
Yeah, dude.
The E3, like say for like E3's gone, right? What was that as kids for us? That was like our directs. You know what I mean? Like, and it was all in one place. And I felt like, I hate to say this,
freaking nerd Christmas, like, man. Like,
it's nerd Christmas that time. You see everybody. And then they have like the Summer Game Fest now with that one company, and then they got Xbox trying it, which they bomb every single time. I wish they would stop doing it. And then PlayStation,
they got Starfield.
Which, they have good IPs. Ugh.
I know. I know.
It's just I'm so irritated with Xbox. How do you have like Battletoads and Banjo-Kazooie and all these rare, amazing titles, and all these other great things that you have? Me and Zach were talking about this too. And, he works at Ben's Game Zone, and I'm just like, dude, when is your team going to show up and start playing?
Yeah, dude. Seriously. And I mean, like, that's a perfect example. Like, Microsoft owns Rare. Rare was hugely successful through all of the 80s, all of the 90s. All of a sudden, they get bought out by Microsoft, and they languish. Like, what's going on, guys? I mean, you got all these IPs. Obviously Microsoft has the money to throw behind it. What's the problem?
I will tell them how they can win right now, and they can hear me out and better do this. There's two companies they should grab: .emu and NT Crates.
Yeah,
because
have a
they don't
have
have a retro market. Imagine NT Creates making a freaking Battletoads game.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Imagine if .emu got like like say for even Battletoads, Killer Instinct, or any of those type of games, beat 'em ups, all kinds of crazy stuff. They're an amazing company. They remade Windjammers. They're on the retro scene. If you want to pull the old school gamers and plus the any kind of games, I would grab those two companies and buy them in a second and say, make whatever the hell you want.
That's the minute warning, by the way, people.
But
I didn't warn Eric about it. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's very weird that these directs go on, and I'm wondering what's going to happen in the future. Are they going to do directs anymore? Or are they just going to do stealth drops like Nintendo kind of does from time to time?
Yeah, no, and dude, that's actually like one thing you said about like Killer Instinct and like all these other IPs that they're doing nothing with, and that they could be doing like all this stuff with. Why don't they make all these different kinds of like retro games with those IPs? I mean, like it's so rich in like backstory and all this stuff, and they're just like, I don't know. There's just nobody thinking about like making money off of them. Like, what's going on?
They're stuck in Game Pass. They're just trying to work off third parties and don't make no first party ones. It's just terrible.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
Oh, that's your timer.
Oh, weird. Okay. Well, all right. And apparently my time up button's not working.
It's okay. So the next one we're going to talk about is the direct, and the game that we're going to talk about first, that basically everyone's all hyped about, is this game right here. Super Mario RPG is getting a remaster.
I got my copy right in front of me too.
This is actually my original copy, and what's funny about this is that this is my first introduction to actually liking RPGs. I went to this, and then I went to Chrono Trigger, and then I went to Final Fantasy 3. Wow. My friend played them all the time, and I used to rib him all the time about how terrible RPGs are, and then when he got this, that changed. And I was even classy enough to get this as well while I bought it. So I could play because I didn't know anything about RPGs, so I basically bought both. I bought this one from Nintendo directly from their magazine order thing. So it came with both. What do you remember about Super Mario RPG?
Oh my gosh, man! Like I could take the entire segment and like not give you a word.
Go ahead.
Super Mario RPG means so much to me as a gamer because it wasn't my introduction to RPGs. Like I actually played Dragon Warrior whenever it first came out on the NES, and I was just, I mean, it was such a different genre for us to. It was the first, of its kind, basically, that we got over in the West to play, these Japanese style RPGs, and they were kind of limited to the technology of the time. So Dragon Warrior actually like is pretty amazing for what it had, like technology wise. So, nothing against Dragon Warrior, but everything past that, all the Final Fantasies and stuff like that, just became exponentially better story, richer stories. You mentioned Chrono Trigger. Man, Chrono Trigger is another one of those. It's just like part of my soul. But Super Mario RPG, everybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you played Mario. So Mario means something to you as a gamer, generally speaking. Yep. But whenever Mario finally, it seemed it's the same thing as Smash Brothers. Like it shouldn't exist in this world. Like yep. I can't believe that Nintendo took their IP and actually like took a leap of faith and made a game in this genre that's so different than what the Plumbers, started with. So to take that IP, take all those characters, take that rich world and put it into an RPG with a story and just all this amazing, hilarious dialogue. It was such a recipe for success. And the fact that they teamed up with the one company that was known for making all these amazing RPGs, and Squaresoft at the time, now Square Enix, they put together a dream team. That game is flawless in my eyes. I can't say a bad thing about it. Yes, like the isometric platforming is a little bit tedious at times, but that's part of the charm, in my opinion. So when I was watching the direct yesterday, I already said that the directs, I go into them with all these trepidations, all these with a grain of salt, because I think I'm just going to get disappointed. So when they flashed the intro to Super Mario RPG on the screen, I froze. I physically froze, and my mouth was just open. I'm like, okay, this is either going to be really disappointing or I'm going to shit my pants. And it was the second one.
Yes.
They came and they showed their reimagined version of that intro with all new graphics, and I was just yelling at the screen like, no, this can't be happening. There's no way. There's freaking no way. And I'm just sitting there incredulous. I can't believe that this game that I love so much is actually finally getting the care and attention that it deserves. Sorry, go ahead.
I think
I have more to say.
No,
but I better let you say something.
So here's two theories I had with it when I saw it. All right, I thought it was going to be like SNES Online. We're adding Super Mario RPG. That's what I thought it was going.
That was
for.
my fear.
I have another weird conspiracy theory that I think might happen in the future. Think about it. Final Fantasy VII has a remake, right? They're having this youth progression in Square, right?
Yeah.
What would happen if they can make a sequel to this? If this game, it's going to be successful, and Square is opening the door for this, there could be a sequel that we never got that we will finally get, which would be freaking amazing,
dude. A sequel with those characters, just
nuts.
I'd die happy. I would die happy.
And the scary thing I told you about earlier was I was scared that they were going to have amiibos for these things because I was like, "Oh my god!"
I know.
All these characters, all these characters on amiibos, and I was like, "No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go down the amiibo road. I don't want to." But what's funny about the game is I remember vividly my friend Joe had Nintendo Power, and when he read that his favorite company that makes all of his, because I hate to say it, I wish Square would have had the opportunity to do it instead of Mystic Quest, because I know Mystic Quest is supposed to be an introduction to RPGs to the Americans, but I think if they would have worked with Nintendo and got this one out first, they probably would have sold exponentially more games based on that, because they would have a foundation of record. And I'm not saying Square's not bad or anything like that, but for me being a person that doesn't play RPGs and me looking on the outside like, oh, you're gonna stop and you're gonna attack. You gotta stop and you're gonna attack. This doesn't seem fun to me.
You're not wrong, dude. It's such a good gateway to RPGs.
Right.
Yeah.
And what made it fun for me is it's not like that, like for example, Mario's jumps where he constantly jumps over and over again. That was fun to me. I could try to hit the button and keep jumping and keep jumping and keep jumping. That's crazy. And all this, like you said, all the humor, all the hidden Easter eggs in the game, the Squaresoft guys that they put Squaresoft bad guy, bosses in it, and all these weird characters that you've never seen before. That they basically expanded the whole Mario universe, because really, a long time ago, it was just basically a castle and pipes and all that type of stuff. But that actually opened the Mushroom Kingdom completely open to make it a big, huge, expansive world. So
you're right.
Square
that was the beginning to it. It's crazy. I mean, that was it broke the shell and it cracked it open. It opened Pandora's box, and look where we are now with this. Holy crap!
Now it's huge. And they got movies now and all this type of stuff. And I really think Nintendo's hey, maybe it's time we can actually do that sequel. And they got people making those Final Fantasy VII remakes and stuff. How crazy is it if you can make a Mario Odyssey mixed with Super Mario RPG, with the throwing hats and all the different new characters now and stuff like that. And even the expansion on the movie, with different characters that they show in there, like Donkey Kong and all of them. That would be absolutely completely nuts. And you could add it'd be like a Smash Brothers thing. You can add so many different characters to that world, which would be insane.
Yeah, it makes me think of I think you've played it, Project Cross Zone. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's if anyone is not familiar with Project Cross Zone, that was a collaboration between Sega, Namco, and third one, Sega, Namco, Capcom.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you name the character, they're in the game. So where you were saying, yeah, like all these handshake deals between like all these companies that you didn't expect to see in Smash Brothers. What is stopping Nintendo now from taking
You
those
got another one.
characters and
You got
putting them
Unicorn
in an
out there
RPG?
too. Who else is there? Sega. Put all the Sonic characters in Super Mario
Yeah,
RPG.
Sega's on board.
Imagine
Yeah,
having,
and Namco's on board
imagine
too.
having,
Yeah,
yeah. Imagine having a team of Mario, Donkey Kong, like Metal Sonic, and Knuckles. Like that would be insane. And they can expand more. What if Cloud got into it? Like Cloud, Mario, and all of them into it. Or even having a bad guy Sephiroth being the bad guy in the whole game. That would be nuts.
Wait.
There's so many such stages to it.
Just think about Kingdom Hearts, what they've done.
Yeah.
Take Mario into freaking Midgar. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It'd be nuts, and that's why I'm thinking that's going on. But my curiosity with it is that it kind of came out of nowhere, like, and then also I thought it would have been cool, and just to throw this out there, like, why couldn't they just like make a Switch game with this box, like a Switch version of a Super Nintendo box, and have that in there with the Switch, and like have like a guide and all kinds of fun stuff. It's just weird sometimes with Nintendo. They just like do weird stuff. Like Fire Emblem gets like 1,000,000 collector's editions, and like like Zelda and Metroid got one out of the whole entire series. And it would just be. I think it would be cool if they did like a, not like a like expensive one. I would say like between $70-$80 like thing, and like even like like little pins with the bad guys in it and stuff like that. Like that'd be totally nuts.
You know what I want? Oh, dude, yeah, give it the Capcom treatment. Give me what Resident Evil gets every single time. I want a freaking statue of Bowser's Keep with that freaking sword stuck right in the middle of it. Oh my gosh!
I think what you should have is just like your light at your house, the chandelier with Bowser in the middle of it with Mario.
Yeah,
that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And there's so many like great things, and I'm kind of torn too, because I'm a big Paper Mario fan too. I loved Super Paper Mario on the Wii. I was like one of my favorites. A lot of people don't like that game, but dude, the 2D was freaking awesome. But this, I hate to say it, like if it's a choose between Paper Mario and them, this one would be out of the park. I don't get me wrong, I like Paper Mario on the N64 and things like that, but it doesn't amount to like the care and love and in this game. And what's even crazy, I was wondering about this too. Did this come out before Donkey Kong? Because I'm wondering if they used the same technology as Donkey Kong to make this game.
Yes, they did. It was the same technology, but it came after Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was in 92 or 3 or something like that. And that was 96.
Yep, 1996. That's crazy. I thought it was soon. I thought it was like 1994. I don't know why. I get always stuck into my head like everything's from 1994.
Yeah.
Like Metroid and all those things like that. But kudos to Nintendo to give.
Oh, you know what, dude? I think
Donkey
Kong Country was 95. Now that I think of it, so it wasn't that far after.
I mean, I wonder, and I always had a theory about. I'm wondering if that company, that made Star Fox, then that they actually was helping them make those character sprites for that game.
Oh, no doubt.
At the time,
no doubt.
Because I don't think SquareSoft has the ability to doing it at that time. I think Nintendo was the only ones that had that for Argonauts. I think it is. I think they were the ones that did all that work. Because I heard like scary rumors, like it would take like them a whole day to do like one of these. Like if they were doing a Mario character, they would have to take like 24 hours, and if something was wrong, then they would have to start the whole day over again to fix it, which is crazy insane. But Square wrote a great script for it. I also wonder, as well, if Miyamoto has some involvement with the script and things like that. But I love everything about it. And what's crazy too is like they have Malo and Gino, and I'm shocked that like they couldn't get those characters away from Square to make. Like I would love a little RPG with those two. I mean, there's such well loved characters in the game. You know what I mean? So kudos to Nintendo. You guys killed it. I think it's going to sell like crazy. I already put my pre-order in for it at Amazon for day one, and I can't wait to go through it again. It makes me want to go back and play the original game again and see if I can actually make through it without the guide. I actually my first playthrough. I played with the guide because I didn't know anything about RPGs. I was so confused, and especially the way you walk in the game, where you jump around and like especially the jumping portions. Oh, it drove me nuts.
Yeah,
So
the
I hope they
isometric
fix that.
platforming. That's what I was talking about. And that's the one gripe that I can see. I can understand people having a problem with.
I remember vividly that I can't remember like all my. I remember at the end there's like these bridges where you have to kind of constantly jump over them, and I kept falling every time and had to do boss fights, and it drove me nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. But I'm happy
Uh,
that you finally got that for your collection, especially Switch is just killing it right now. So you'll
yeah.
have a great another portion of 2023, which is going to be really good.
Yeah. So Mario RPG. You said it about Paper Mario. Maybe people don't know, but over in Japan, Paper Mario was actually called Super Mario RPG 2. It was
That's
actually
crazy.
the direct sequel in name to the Mario RPG franchise. So any Paper Mario game that came out was a Super Mario RPG game in Japan. It wasn't part of its own like different thing. Minute left. But and yeah, I was a fan of the Paper Mario games. I was a fan of the Mario and Luigi games too. I've played damn near every single one of them. I think the only one I haven't beat is Bowser's Inside Story.
That was great.
Yeah, and they're all awesome. They all have really cool humor, really cool gimmicks, and whatever. It's really entertaining. But none of them, and I mean none of them, came close to hitting like Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars on Super Nintendo. None, not even close. They're miles apart as far as like what they mean to gamers, what how successful they were in my eyes. Just encapsulating what a Japanese RPG would be with Mario, and they killed it. They absolutely killed it.
All right, our next topic is going to be on another drop on that Nintendo Direct since we are going Mario crazy, and that was Mario Wonder. It was shown at the end of the Nintendo Direct. I got bait and switch because I really thought it was going to be the game that I wanted, which was Metroid Prime 4. And I don't know. Like I honestly I looked at it. It looks like it's going to be a fun. It's a new. I think it's not new Super Mario Brothers, like a new Super Mario Brothers 2D game, and it looked kind of weird. I was wondering, like I was telling you earlier, it was like a double platforming game, like where they were jumping through the portals and it was something completely different and stuff like that. I just need to know a little bit more about the game mechanics for it because I'm just very confused about it. I like New Super Mario Brothers. I liked it on the DS. I liked it on my Switch. I liked it on my Wii U. I bought them like crazy. They could do a million of those 2D games and I'd still buy them. But I think they kind of, I hate to say it, they kind of screwed themselves when they did Mario Maker because now, like, if you think about all the YouTube videos now and all the content creators, what are they doing? They're playing those troll levels on Mario Maker, and they basically gave us basically the tool set to make our own Mario games. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be not a tough sell for them, but I also think what's going to happen is I think they need to show more kind of gameplay in it. I felt like this was like kind of like a teaser, but I hope it's like I said, like Link to the Past, where the levels change when you jump through the portals, and it's constantly
Mm-hmm.
changing back and forth. That would be pretty cool. What did you think of it?
I think it's about time. I've been clamoring for it for years, silently and vocally. Um, the new Super Mario Brothers formula came out in 2006. I remember that vividly because I was deployed at the time, and we bought that and a Nintendo DS Lite, and played the crap out of it right when it came out. And it was 2006, right after Katrina happened.
Yep.
So, I mean, that dates it. Like, think about that. How many Mario games have come out between now and 2006?
Let's see. They
2006
had
was 17 MF years ago.
Yep.
And this is the first time that they've reinvented the 2D Mario formula since then.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you could argue that Super Mario Run is a little bit different, in a formula, but I don't get me started on phone games. I don't consider them video games. You're a second tier gamer if you're a phone gamer. Shots fired. Anyway,
I think it went through eras though. So like it was a regular 2D Mario game, right? And then it went on the Wii, and guess what it became? It became a 4-player party game. You know what I mean? And the New Super Mario Brothers U was like the expansion on that with Luigi. Luigi doing those 30-second trials as well. And then the 3D Mario World came out, and everyone was all on that. And I think it went towards the 3D. And then now you had Odyssey, that's like Nintendo 64, so they've covered that area. But like their bread and butter with Mario was always 2D. I mean, from the original that we had back in the 80s all the way up. And I'm just wondering what's going to be the differences between playing all the other type of games compared to this Mario Wonder.
Yeah,
and I'm super curious.
I totally get where you're coming from there, and these Mario 2D games, obviously that's where Mario started. The 3D ones are, it kind of felt like a natural progression, and I remember the first time playing Mario 64, I'm like, holy crap, this is Mario. But going back to the roots, that also feels like this is Mario. And the new Nintendo, or the new Super Mario Brothers formula, and you said it was on the Wii and it turned into a party game. That kind of felt like a natural progression, and it's weird to me. It feels like that game and that genre is Charles Martinet, who is the voice actor of Mario. That's like a his voice personified into a game, like. That they're just leaning so hard into the wahoo and then whatever, and now they're kind of backing off away from that a little bit. It seems I don't know that much about Wonder, obviously none of us do, but I think they're going. It feels like they're going a little bit back toward like Mario 2 in the art style, with like the expressions, and it just feels that way, and then the flashy platforming and the weird acid trip, it kind of feels like a mobile game, doesn't it?
Kind of. I also think too, and I was thinking a theory about this too. Like my son Leland plays Mario, right? And what is this generation? And like you said, tablets, right? They're used to playing tablets and things like that, and kind of those games. And I feel like Nintendo's trying to go into another generation, because if you look at it, we had 80s Mario, right? Mario 1, 2, and 3. And then the Super Nintendo, when they were kids, they had Mario World, Mario RPG, and all those ones. And then we got into, the 64, and they had a
Charles
generation
Martinet.
of kids that like that. Yep. And then you went right into the Wii and the Wii U. And now my kids are in their generation, and this might be their version of the Mario that they will enjoy. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious, because it could be I've been noticing lately in video games, like it seems like a youth perspective's coming through. You know what I mean? With all these remakes and remasters and things like that, they're giving a new generation the ability to take these masterpieces and go. Sorry, that was unprofessional. But yeah, It's pretty amazing that Mario survived this long, you know what I mean? And now it's like he's like Disney, he's like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, he's
I'm
Mickey
just curious
Mouse.
on the gameplay.
Like, I mean, yeah, what else can you compare to Mario? Like,
well, it's funny to me because like we wish we had this as kids. They got amusement park with Mario. They got a movie that the Mario that we thought we were going to get.
I know.
These kids are like, get everything that I want. And I'm hoping. I mean, I don't think I'll hate it. Crap. Yeah, I don't think I'll hate it. Like
I'm gonna be that man
like,
yelling at the cloud outside in a minute.
But I always get scared of like, what if one day I just get tired of Mario? You know what I mean? Like, what if they let me down on one of these Mario projects? You know what I mean? Because I love it so much. I mean, it's basically been in my life since like when I was 5 years old. And so It's cool that Nintendo always thinks about different generations. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. I think about it like Bowser's Fury. You know what I mean, and those type of things. You never
That
know
was sick, by
what
the
they
way.
have planned. Great game. Shocked it was
That
good.
came out of nowhere. Like freaking
So
open
good.
world Mario. Like that's definitely where they're going with the next 3D adventure. Gotta be. It
I
feels
think open
awesome.
world. I think it's Breath of the Wild for Mario. That's what I think is
Ooh,
next.
that'd be insane.
Imagine a giant Mushroom Kingdom with Mario in it.
Oh my gosh, dude! Don't. Oh no.
I mean, it's a natural progression. Like you think
Yeah,
about
you're
how
right.
popular Tears of the Kingdom is. You can have a Metroid IP, you can have a Mario IP built on that engine. Just like what is Capcom doing on every single game? They're using the RE engine, a survival horror engine, to make like Street Fighter and all these other games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Nintendo won't put that engine to work on a gigantic Mario Odyssey game?
Well, yeah. Now, especially now that they have iMagic as a partner. My gosh.
What did you think about the elephant power up?
I'm indifferent. I'm not surprised. I mean, the dude has been a ghost. He's been a spring. He's been a bee. He's been. I mean, what's
Too.
next? He's been a freaking tanuki, and a tanuki in Japanese culture has giant testicles. Like that's not. I mean, if he's been a tanuki with giant testicles, an elephant is not weird.
Why? And this is what makes me mad. Why can't they just bring the frog back?
The
Bring me
frog?
the frog back. Bring me the frog suit back.
Yeah, I want. I mean, they don't really ever bring back this stuff, do they?
No, I
like
would
Fire
love
Mario's and everything. But
well, I also was curious too about the talking characters in it. Like they were like fireflies.
those flowers. I hope they talk crap.
And I'm wondering if this is actually in the Mushroom Kingdom or this is another world. You know what I mean? Like that we never seen before.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, super weird. Obviously,
I don't know,
we got all this stuff that's not explained. It's a brand new chapter for Mario fans, so I'm excited to see it. And it comes out of my birthday.
Yep, October is always good.
Mm-hmm.
I always miss the October releases for the first. They never do it anymore. They always do it around your birthday.
Yeah. Well, this is what it is.
All right, next topic we're going to talk about is there was 2 games that are in production with Nintendo. One is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is getting a remaster for the Switch. Yep. And also our girl Peach right here is getting her own game. And
Peach.
I wanted
her second one ever.
Wanted to see what you thought about those 2 games chosen for Nintendo to make.
I like that they're making a Peach game. That's I'm all about inclusion. I think that girls have kind of got the short end of the stick whenever it comes to like to games, and not that girls don't enjoy like Mario and stuff. It's Mario is a very asexual enjoyment kind of thing. It's not like playing with dolls or GI Joes where traditionally one gender plays with one or the other. Mario is kind of universal. But if you are leaning toward playing Gears of War or I don't know, not even Fire Emblem, but I would say whatever war game. Peach, this is literally the second game she's ever had where she's the protagonist. So yeah, about time. I think that there's a whole lot that they can do with it. The fact that they like ended it on a cliffhanger, like if she stands in this spot and then she starts like transforming into something, and like, what does she turn into a dragon? Like, what's going on here? Well, we'll see.
Yep. I want to old school mechanics with her. I want to be able to float with her like Mario 2 and all those things like that. Yeah. But what I think what's going on with Princess Peach, and I'll get on Luigi, but I think they dropped this game thinking they were going to bring in a female audience to and it didn't really sell well. But if you think about it right now, this is the era, you know what I mean? Like, like the movie came out and she was a big role in the Mario movie. And
yeah, she's a badass in that movie.
Yeah. And I have friends, like I had a friend that was telling me, he was talking to me at work about it. He said that his daughter went as Princess Peach for Halloween, and she always likes playing Mario 2 because you had a princess in there. And he showed her the trailer, and he said that she's super excited that like she can't wait to play it. And I think that's cool. I think that's cool that you could, some people, don't get that ability to pass on like games to their children. You know what I mean? And I think this is a great thing Nintendo's doing. But I really hope they stick behind it and then give her a series and all kinds of things, like different types of games like that. Like this one, for example, like the Super Peach. I think it's funny because they basically base her on emotions, and I don't think that's right.
Like,
it's weird.
Come on, guys.
Like that's not cool, but like I'm really happy that they're going outside their perspectives. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, I'm gonna let you know, this is like the hardest Luigi's Mansion game. Yeah. So I hope they do it. I think they're gonna do a great remaster on it. I think we have the Luigi Mansion 3 on here, but I'm hoping they go back and do the OG one to have the 3 sets on the Switch. But it looked really, really good. Are you a Luigi Mansion fan?
Oh yeah, huge Luigi's Mansion fan. Back to the GameCube, and I played through all that. And dude, my niece is a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion. I love Luigi. I just love Luigi. Period. Yep. Like Luigi has always been my guy. Like I don't care about Mario that much. Luigi, he's got all the personalities. Just hilarious. He's a scaredy cat guy. Whatever. I'm so glad that they made him like his personality so different from Mario. And as far as like we talked about this before, like exposing the new generation of gamers to these games that we played. Well, not everyone got to play with a 3DS, and who's going to go and pick one up? And these games are kind of prohibitively expensive. Not so much Luigi's Mansion, but it gives me hope in the future that like Nintendo's going to take all these really good games that exist in the past and actually like remaster them for a new generation.
I agree, and like with Luigi's Mansion, I'll say this: I'm a big Ghostbusters fan as a kid, and so when I heard when the game came out that you could suck up ghosts like Ghostbusters, I was like, I'm totally in. I wish Nintendo made a Ghostbusters game back in the day because that would have been freaking epic. I don't even care if Luigi was there. You could give me any of the Ghostbusters, and I would have been completely happy with them sucking up things in the vacuum. So, really happy to bring it out.
Sucking up money too, man. There's money everywhere in that mansion. Like,
my favorite thing, and I'll say it's the end, is the humming. His humming, singing the song, makes me laugh every time he does it.
Yeah, so good. So good.
All right. Next topic we're going to talk about is another, kind of retro, kind of coming to new system. Metal Gear Solid Collection 1. This is the HD collection of it. It's kind of like the same thing they came out with the PS3. It had Metal Gear Solid, this one's going to have Metal Gear Solid 1. It's going to have 2, 3, and then it's also, I found out today, it's going to have VR missions, and it's also going to have the Nintendo games, Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear on the Nintendo, and Metal Gear Snake's Revenge that never got released, and both MXX versions that Kojima made is also going to be on that collection for that Volume 1.
Very cool.
There's 2 things I hate. So they did announce today that it's going to be. I don't know if they're making it physical or not. They're still kind of up in the air with this. But what I heard is that the Switch version is going to have 28 gigs to put all those games on there, and also it comes with, I guess, some music and some behind the scenes things that also you have to download as well. I don't understand that. They have the ability to make a 32 gigabyte card for the Switch, and they don't use it. And I understand, like, it costs more money and its memory and all the things like that. But I would pay $70 for all those games. That's like $70 worth of games that I would definitely buy for. Or throw some extra little stuff in there to make it seem like you would enjoy the $70 price point with it. But honestly, I think I'm going to get it for PS5. What do you think about it?
It's no secret that I'm a Metal Gear fan. Dude, I've actually physically got a copy of the original MSX Metal Gear. Like, I love that series. I love Solid Snake's my guy. Metal Gear Solid 4 at the end of that story, dude, that shit made me cry, dude. Like, he's, oh my gosh. That just tugged. Oh, that killed me. Anyway, but where I go with Metal Gear now, it's such a love-hate relationship because now that Kojima's gone from Konami, it feels like the soul's been ripped out of Metal Gear. It doesn't, affect the games that he already worked on, obviously, which are the ones being re-released here, but it does make me hesitant to buy it because here's my question, a very, very short, simple question to you. Do you think that this is a necessary re-release or is it a Konami cash grab?
I think it's a little both because they took it off the digital site, and I think their idea was that they were going to re-release these later, some big collection. But this is my problem too. The original one's great. Don't get me wrong, but why hasn't there been a re-release of Twin Snakes? Twin Snakes on the GameCube, and especially like that, you could have done it like I thought this would be a cool idea. You would take the PS5 version gets the original OG PlayStation version of it, and then the Switch version gets the Twin Snakes version. So it gives you like the history of PlayStation and it gives you the history of the Switch. But the problem I have with it is that like Switch can't hold all those games. So it's just like buying that Resident Evil. Like I get one game on there, but I don't get the other games on there. What if my thing crashes or I can't get it off the digital site? At least with the PS5, I have enough memory on the disc that I could have all those games on there and I don't have to worry about my freaking hard drive crashing.
You said it at the very beginning. They took it off of the digital storefront, so that's why you're buying it physically. What's to say that you buy it on the Switch and you can't download the rest of the stuff that you were talking about? That servers aren't up forever. We've seen this time and time again. Like the companies aren't beholden to the people who bought the license. The license, that you bought to play this game. You don't own the game, you own the license, and that's why physical should never die. It's another topic for another day. Yeah, but yeah, so like what's your incentive to buy it on the Switch when the entire game isn't on there? It's stupid.
I hate this situation that goes with Switch, and I know that I'm gonna put my little nerd glasses on. Oh well, the Switch can go anywhere you want to go, and you can play your games where you want to play. If I can't play all of them, then why am I buying it? I mean, like, say for example, like if I'm not in a Wi-Fi area, does that affect me from even getting the license to go through and even play it? Because I've had situations where I've taken to work on our little off days, and I have to literally like work around to get the game to play. I shouldn't have to do that if I actually buy the physical copy of it. With the PS5, at least, I can have it on my site. They can't take it away from me. I can play as much as I want. The same thing with my PS3. I have 42 games that are digital only, but I can still play them on here because they're on my hard drive. I don't have to go back on there and download the site. It's all on there working, and I have no issues with playing them. It's just I don't understand. Like I understand the Switch has issues with memory, but if Nintendo had the ability to put a gigantic Tears of the Kingdom game together, why is it so hard to put all the games under one thing? Or why don't you just do this like you've done like every other one, like for Resident Evil for PS4? They just basically release one game on each disc, and it's call it a day. You get more money, $20, put them all out there, and I guarantee you, if you gave me all the Metal Gear games, I would do it.
Nintendo makes it stupid though. Nintendo has this dumb thing where you got to buy the cartridges from them, and there's a 5,000 minimum, and blah blah blah. Like all these like prerequisite like costs that come along with every cartridge that you buy from them, and it's been like that since the days of the NES. You got to buy the cartridge from them in order to put the software on it, and gosh dang, it hurts. It hurts.
Well, think about it. They've already done it with Turtles Collection. They put every single freaking game on that one.
Yeah.
And I know people are like, woo, it's usually 2D. They're not really that big. You could have put 3D games on that thing and still would have fit it on there. Like, I don't understand the issue, what's going on with it.
Well, no, they have Switch cartridges that are big enough. They just didn't want to, like, pony up the money and, like, pass on the cost. Which, yeah,
But
you
they're gonna
said.
make tons of money.
I know. Yeah, I
Well,
would have
make
bought it.
5,000 of them. I'd buy them. I bought all three of them. If they, let's say for example, they made the whole entire series on there. Like you had MXS, you had PS1, you had PS2, and like say Metal Gear Solid 4 Patriots. Done. Buy them all. You want it to cost me $180? I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
If I play a current gen, I have no problem with it.
yeah, and as is, like right now, I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, I'm going to buy it on PS5. I'm not going to buy it on Switch because it's not on the cart. Stupid, just stupid.
And I'm not either. And it just drives me crazy that they do these things like they want this money to push everything. But see, I also was giggling too. They keep calling it Volume 1. So let's say for example they do Volume 2, right?
So,
And they have Guns of the Patriots
with a caveat.
Yeah, so you have Guns of the Patriots, and then you have what's the other one to Guns of the Patriots? The only other one that's there is freaking the Phantom Pain. And guess what? You're not putting the Phantom Pain on the Switch. You might be able to put the other one on the Metal Gear Solid 4, but you're not going to be putting other ones on there. So where's all this extra stuff? Like I don't understand what their mindset was.
Yeah, what is going to be Volume 2?
It's not. I don't know. I don't know why they're calling it Volume 1. I'm like, I don't get it.
Substance and subsistence and
unless they do the writing games and the Game Boy Advance game or Game Boy Color game.
Yeah,
that's the only options they have. Dude, give me. Why isn't Raiden haven't been updated yet? Like, what the hell? Like that game is so awesome, over the top, absolutely chaotic. You can cut everything. It's such a great game, and I don't understand it. I don't understand like Konami's thinking. You have all these amazing IPs. If you don't want to use them, sell them. Make yourself $1 billion from Sony, and then you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore.
Konami used to be so good. What happened?
So good. I bought Track and Field from Konami. Of all games in the world that are like not the best games in the world, I fucking bought Track and Field 2. I fucking love it. Still played it. Apologize, I lost my internet. But what I was trying to say is that Konami has these great IPs, and I think they need to find better ways to use them. And like I was saying before, they were an amazing game company, and I think over time they need to get back to their roots, just like Capcom did, just like all these other companies like Namco did. You need to go back to your roots, or you need to get younger talent, and they're doing great games for it. The next one we're going to do is, a lot of people enjoy those pickup videos and Metal Jesus videos and things like that. I know I'm just joking, but I thought we'd do our pickups. I'll let Amara go first, and he can show off an item that he picked up for this week while he was out either hunting. And it doesn't have to be video games. It could be any kind of nostalgic thing that you picked up.
Yeah, it's funny, this is like our first podcast. We're talking about video games and pickups. I actually haven't had any pickups lately, but I did. So like another thing about me is like I collect, and I'm wearing a NOS Energy hat right now.
It's
anything
Team NOS.
that I can find NOS Energy, I buy. Like I freaking love that drink. I love that brand. I don't know what it is about it. So I've got like hoodies and freaking flags and you name it. But I actually found like it was this like retail drink like dispenser thing that like hangs on the wall that you can load like 8 cans into, and like you take one out of the bottom and then it just like self feeds, like gravity feeds. So that's my pickup for this week. I got a NOS energy drink can feeder.
So what we need to do is, and this is honest true, we need to hashtag NOS, just hashtag NOS when we send this video up, and make sure that I let you guys know, NOS, you need to sponsor this guy. He literally has probably put all your kids through college through your energy drinks.
Dude, I love NOS, man. I love the brand. Please sponsor me. Like I wear your stuff out in public. Like I'm a walking billboard.
He is, for reals. I have seen it. I'm Team Dr. Pepper. So if Dr. Pepper, I literally go to the gas station every morning and buy Dr. Pepper. If you want to, throw some schmooze to my side, hashtag Dr. Pepper, hashtag the greatest drink ever made. I don't care what anyone says. It's my fuel. It's my IV. If I could walk around IV with a Dr. Pepper, like a little IV, I would definitely do that all day. It makes me happy, and I think that's great. I picked up one thing thanks to you, and I want to thank you for it because I feel like the other collectors will get grabbed. I'll tell you guys a funny story. There, we go every Wednesday and Saturday to our favorite store. It's Ben's Game Zone. Ben is the owner of the store, and he does cool things for collectors. He does like drops. And so he doesn't tell you what the drops are going to be. He just brings stuff in, and then you basically it's like I call it the International Bilingual Collectors Association meeting. So all the super nerds come together. We talk about all the topics that we're doing now, and then we dig through games. And we have some good collectors, and we also have some bad collectors. And one of the bad collectors, what he likes to do is they alphabetize all their stuff. So they put them in a box, and they're all alphabetized. What this guy does is that he'll go through and he'll pick up games, and he'll just keep stacking all these games, and he'll look through them, and then he'll pick out the one he wants, and then he'll throw back all the other stuff in the bin. And he tries to grab the rarest games. Yeah. He doesn't do it alphabetically. He grabs games like crazy. We have a lot of collectors that are really cool. Some collectors are very pristine. They'll hold up the game and they'll look at it and they'll put their nose at it. Oh, it's got this scratch. I don't want that. And, put that back. There's other collectors like me. Like, I don't care. As long as it plays, cool. And then there's some collectors that, like, they want CIB and they want these certain things, or, hey, I'm going for a full set of things. But I've been looking for this game forever. And luckily, Abaro was sitting right there, and he like ninja moved in front of that guy and grabbed it and handed it to me. And that's Evo. This is the last heavy hitter I needed for the Super Nintendo. I know I'm gonna get the nerd thing. I do not have Earthbound anymore, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a really rare game," and it's not really a rare game because it's been out for a million freaking games of Earthbound, just like Chrono Trigger and everything else. They just didn't sell well. I had a complete in box one, and I traded it for a Final Fight Guy 1-to-1. And no offense, Final Fight Guy is a lot harder to get than Earthbound. I'm tired of people saying it's rare, and it's like this super uncommon game. And if you don't have the smelly stickers in your guide, then you don't really have a complete set. Your Earthbound. People make stuff up all the time, and this is my little rant I'm going to go on for a second. I am tired of hearing rare. Nothing is rare. Nintendo World Championship is rare. Stadium events is rare. Fucking Evo is not rare. It was in a store and they sold millions.
Yeah, it was mass produced.
Mass produced. And I don't understand when people do this all the time. It drives me crazy. Or if you don't know the knowledge, don't give the knowledge. Well, actually, there was only 1,000 Earthbounds in the Queen box. No, it wasn't. I literally saw them at Kmart stacked to the brim. I was there in that era. Don't lie to me in my face. Yeah. But this is the last one I wanted, and I'm really super happy about it. It's actually fun. I was really shocked. Enix, wasn't part of Square at the time. I was a big fan of their Illusion of Gaia and Soul Blaze and all those things. So like to have this, it's fun. If you want to know about it, you should look up YouTube videos. You basically start as a fish and you evolve. I'm sorry about my dog. My dog is really excited. My wife is home. Lastly, as everyone probably knows that knows me, I'm a hologram whore. Hashtag hologram whore. And I got some Toxic Crusaders holograms. I know you can't see them really well, but I got a set of them. I'm literally going to find every single hologram movie, terrible movie, whatever it is, and I'm going to have them all over my wall. And I'm talking about freaking, I got The Last Action Hero coming. I got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie coming, so pretty cool stuff. I'm really excited about it. To make a gigantic set of holograms, and it's all your fault because you got me all hyped up on the damn cards.
Oh man, yeah, no, dude, it's that nostalgia hit, man. Like freaking, like back in the day, like most of us, not most of us, but some of us, like we collected like Marvel cards, like Marvel Universe and Marvel Masterpieces, and freaking X-Men Series 2, and it just like the feelings that come along with that. If you weren't there, then I'm sorry, but it was really cool. If you missed the Pog phase, I'm sorry. That was a thing too. Like when we grew up.
I have a whole box of Pogs. I literally have a
You
can
got
of
Pogs
Pogs sitting over
still?
here.
Oh shoot,
You want?
we
Hold
got
on,
we
I'll
got to
grab it
play
real
some
quick.
Pogs while he gets there. Those things. I actually kind of like this segment because I'll wait until he gets back. I actually kind of like this segment and like because we're all about talking about 80s and 90s nostalgia too, and it's not we're going to kind of go off topic. This is kind of we're supposed to be talking about why you collect, why like what passion, what fuels your passion, and that's it actually kind of does correlate to that because the nostalgia hit, like those feelings that come back from the stuff that you had and played as a kid. Like there's nothing like it. And dude, just look at this Nintendo Direct. Like what a fan service Nintendo has done for that nostalgia hit this time. I probably watched that Super Mario RPG trailer like 10 times just
Yeah, I
in
think it's
awe.
awesome.
And dude, it wasn't the first time I was just in shock, but the second time, I'm not gonna lie, dude, it brought a tear to my eye. Like I was so happy, like I shed a couple tears, and like watching other people's reactions that had similar reactions to me, other people that it means that much to them too. I can relate. So it chokes me up.
Well, I did the same thing too. Like, well, I remember this is vividly as a kid. My mom kind of laughed at me. There's a Laserdisc kiosk for Nintendo,
Mm.
and the guy put in a Laserdisc, and it was the first scene that came up was Super Metroid, and
Oh
it
wow.
showed the power bomb blowing up, like it's blowing up in the air,
Yep.
and I was like in shock. Like my mom's trying to call for me to get in line with her, and I'm just standing there like full mouth open, like. And like I tell people like vividly, remember that scene in like Wayne's World where he's talking to Alice Cooper, and
Yeah.
and he gives him like some kind of weird thing, and then he's like, "Oh, you're not worthy," and the guy that was there working, he's like, "Oh, you want a copy of it? It's actually sitting over there right now." And I was like, "Please, mom, please." And she wouldn't do it. And so like she told me if I rented the game a lot that she would buy it for me. So literally every weekend for like 2 months straight, I would pick up the same game.
Yeah.
Dude, I put a
You
little
had to
piece of
prove
tape
you
on the
were that
back
you
of.
were gonna play it.
Well, we're poor, and what I did
Oh, so
was
are we.
I put a tiny gold star on the back of the game. So
Yeah.
when I went to go to Blockbuster, I would find my save file
Yeah,
from
there you
that.
go.
And one dude dicked me over and deleted it. And I ran into my mom for like a half an hour about it. I was like, whoever did this, I'm going to kick their ass. I worked so hard on this. And other times I would
uh,
laugh too because you would get a game back from Blockbuster and it'd be like I saw one. It was like it was a Zelda. I rented it and they put the name Cock and Balls in there, which made me fucking laugh my ass off. And it's like, hello, Cock and Balls.
uh,
But nostalgia for me is for my mom. To be
yeah.
honest, I I owe everything to her for being nostalgic. Everything that we did as kids. I mean, I like pro wrestling because of her because we used to go see Ric Flair in Baltimore, and then go to the arcades with her and play video games with her, stuff like that. It just me and my mom were really poor, and honestly, we didn't really get along with each other. But like the thing that always brought us together were those things. And like she's the reason why I like tea so much because we sit outside and drink tea all in the afternoon with her and stuff like that. So she's my big inspiration for it. But what happened was I was very poor, and so when I got money and income, I wanted to get it back. So in
Yep.
'99 when I joined the military, I just started grabbing everything I could.
Yep.
This era is lucky; they get like everything. I'm so jealous of this era.
Uh,
Like, dude, like Ninja Turtle toys like they have now, ridiculous.
yeah,
And
no.
like but what's cool about it, it's for me is I get to pass it on to my son. My son enjoys this old school stuff too. So it's kind of like a pass back to my kids. And the same thing with like Pizza Friday. Like my mom used to go to Blockbusters on Friday, and we would get a pizza and we would watch a movie. And so I do Pizza Friday here with my kids to honor my mom that passed away. So like, so she feels like she's part of it. But that's the funny thing with her. We would watch my mom, like, dude, she was like a schemer. She knew the manager, and she would get all the new release. You know how people used to go Blockbuster? And I'm sorry if you age you, but when you want to get a new movie, you had to be at Blockbuster like right after work because everyone and the mother wants the new release movies, and they used to take them all out. So my mom would get the movies, and I would also get the WWE pay-per-view video that would come out, like, during that, because it's a month behind. So I'd pick that up, and then one video game. And the deal was, Friday we watched the movies. Saturday I got on my BMX because it was really close to our house. I would ride them back. I would rewind them and then send them back. She'd get the money back, and then I would get to play the rest of my game for the weekend, and then I'd turn it back in on Monday before I went to school. And I did that religiously for like probably 10 years.
Yeah.
But that's what inspires me to collect. I do it for her. It reminds me a lot of her. And I used to always have these weird talks with her. I'm like, I wonder if anyone. I used to go Blockbuster like, does anyone own this stuff? Like, who would own a million Super Nintendo games?
Yeah, I know it.
And it's just a fun thing that I get to enjoy, and it's
well,
kind of
yeah,
like
I
my
mean,
therapy.
like, we both we both basically like have basements that are a freaking rental store, like. I've kind of pared back a little bit, and that's just that's another topic for another day. But it still feels to me like I've got everything that I ever wanted as a kid, and yeah, to the same. There's different degrees of poor or whatever, but we were also very poor. Like, I mean, we had no money to spend on like freaking superfluous stuff like video games. So the fact that like when I was like, how old was I? What year did the Nintendo come out? I really should know this as a
80,
freaking console.
85, I think. I think it's
Yeah,
85.
85, 86. So I was like 5 years old ish when we got a Nintendo, but it was out of nowhere. Like, I had no concept of the Nintendo even being out. I had no idea. So my grandma who lived, and my dad's mom, we called her Tita, and like she only spoke Spanish. So like, I grew up like, I knew that she was so caring and loving and whatever, and whenever we saw her, but couldn't really communicate. But she was always about like supplying us with fun toys and like the newest tech and stuff like that. And somehow she knew about the Nintendo, so she thought that we would want one, and boy, was she right. So
Addiction is
she
real.
set me on the path that I'm on still today. Like, I work for, Coffin said, I work for Premium Edition Games, who's one of those limited, I'm not going to say limited run type companies, because we don't do a limited number. It's a small batch Switch and PS4 game company. We work with developers to bring out indie titles. But I do that, and I write for Old School Gamer magazine. I've got my own books that I write. It's part. I mean, like, it's my life, dude. Like, video games are my life. I love them so much, and to be able to share them with other passionate gamers, that's what it's all about to me. Um, it's not so much honoring my grandma. Like, I definitely have her to thank for everything that I've ever accomplished with this, because she set me on a path. Maybe I would have got a Nintendo eventually, but she got it for me at that impressionable age. And I was just in love with Mario ever since. But as far as like why I collect still, you and I both have kind of like really pulled back on the reins, because it's been so prohibitively expensive, as far as like all the like retro stuff that exists now. But we basically have everything that we ever wanted. I don't know about you, but like, there's really nothing I'm looking for anymore.
I enjoy the Saturdays that we go down there because
Yeah,
I don't have
definitely.
that expectation where I have to, like, they're like on we used to joke. So when
Dude, they're
we did
freaking
it, we
piranhas,
started collecting.
man.
Well, we were on the front lines too. When we were first starting,
Yeah,
we were
true.
like doing the same thing they're doing. Now we're like the 40-year-old men's, and we're just like, nah,
We're the
I ain't all about
middle-aged
that life.
gamers.
We are from Dimension X. And that's how it is. Like the era now is that it's like I don't. My era was like, a lot of the collectors would just like collect stuff and just get stuff that they enjoy. Now it's like it's become like a gold mine. Like everyone thinks everything's a gold mine, and I hate to say it, but like the card things and the reselling videos and all those things. I know they do their stuff. Phoenix Resale, really nice guy. Don't have any issues with him. When I saw him at MGC and stuff like that, and I understand he's trying to hustle and do this stuff like that. It's just their mindset is that they don't look at them as games that they enjoyed as kids. They look at them as oh my god, they're rare. They're gonna be worth a bunch of money. They treat them like stocks. And
Well,
or they
it's
want
not
to show
only
off.
stocks, but like you you put it perfectly. It's a penis showing contest.
Dick,
Um,
dick pic
but
collectors.
it's a feather in your cap to some people to just like have all this sealed shit and freaking like the rarest crap and like all this stuff that like I've got it. If you don't have it, like lording it over people. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
I feel like they want to be like Hollywood. Like they didn't get that like they get to be that Hollywood star, and that's like their version of it. Like, look, I could be a Hollywood star. I don't care about anything in this room.
Yeah.
Honestly, truth. I mean, yeah, it would suck if I lost it, but like I'm not gonna like cry tears over it.
Sure.
I got lucky. I was in the right place at the right time, and I want to
Yeah.
understand people need to understand that what I would do, and this is good advice to you, is collect the generations you're in. Uh, if you can't afford it, go one generation back. So like if I'm on PS5 right now, I would be collecting for PS4 because no one's gonna be looking for PS4 games or Xbox One or those type of games. And I would always stay a generation behind. But the problem now is that there's so much spotlight on it that like say for example like 3DS hasn't even died yet officially. You know what I mean? But they're acting like it's been 10 years since that thing's come out. And it's very weird to me because it's still you can still buy them everywhere, but people act like oh I got it, like they're doing like those complete. The thing doesn't create like those complete like I'm gonna get all greatest hits. Why? Does that make you special? Because it has a red line on a game. It's not. I don't know.
Those
I
people
can't.
those people are chasing the thrill of the hunt.
I know
Those people
the
nothing
addiction.
against them. People collect in their own way, but to me it's just shelf fodder. Like if you're collecting every greatest hit variant
Time extension.
and like that's all you're about, to me I don't know. You're doing something that doesn't really mean that much to you as a gamer. You're more of a collector then. And collectors and gamers kind of go hand in hand, but it's actually one thing that I wrote in my latest article in Old School Gamer magazine. If at some point you're never going to take those games off the shelf and play them, you might as well have wallpaper. You might as well have a green screen. You might as well have you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep, I
it's not
agree.
doing you any good. It's just really expensive stuff that could go, be benefit to your life in some other way. Like, you got basically you got money sitting on the shelf that could be better served. And that's up to whomever. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's what I started thinking about my own collection, and that's why I pared down so much.
But you look at the thing that you had though beforehand, like, and I'll talk about this too because we've had this conversation before too, is that you were in both sides of the era. You know what I mean? You were
Hmm.
like going for like complete sets of things, and
Yeah.
then you met me, and I'm like, I just play the games I enjoy. Why do I need 100 sports games? Because
Yeah.
it makes it a complete set.
Yep.
Or the joke in our little group that I will keep hush hush, but they're like, I gotta have it like completely pristine. I'm like, dude, it's a 20-year-old game. Like it's gonna have some kind of imperfection to it.
Yeah.
Or like
What's
I'm gonna keep it
patina,
sealed.
dude? It's freaking patina.
Sealed games, like and no offense, I'm not going in the Waldo Chan or anything like that. I'm just saying like, why would you get something you can't play? It's a
Yeah.
whole point of video game is to play it. I don't understand the concept of it. I joke, and I get it. Every collector has their different colognes, and so I just say, like, you should be inspired by the way you want to collect. If it makes you happy, you wake up in the morning, you're able to do it, but don't try to collect everything to where you hurt your finances.
Oh
you
no,
hurt
yeah,
your
you don't.
family, and you
Yeah,
don't hurt your
you got to be
kids.
responsible. You got to be in the right frame of mind and the right situation in your life. Because if you've got here's an example. Like if you're still living with your parents and you're not spending that money, or if you're not saving that money to, like, to get out on your own, and like you're spending it on video games, and you're spending it on sports cards, and you're spending it on everything else that you shouldn't be spending it on. I mean, whatever. If you want to live with your parents for the rest of your life, that's your prerogative. But gosh, it sounds so condescending
No,
coming out of my mouth right now,
it's
and
not.
I
It's not
apologize if it's
condescending
coming
'cause
across that way. But
no.
I really think that you'd be better served to not spend on video games, and you need to get your priorities straight at that point. Get your life together.
I always joke. There's a guy that I met. I'll tell you this vividly. I'll be honest with you. My mom took like $30,000 from me, and he basically explained it to me because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with money? I can't buy video games. I can't do anything like that. Blah blah. And he's just like, you know what? He said, LCF, life comes first. And if you live by that perspective, and think of it about a need and want, is it, do you need the game or do you want the game? If it, like same thing with your bills, do you need to pay your bills or do you want to pay your bills?
Yeah, you
And
need
so
to pay those bills.
you need to pay your bills and you want to pay your bills. Those will always come first. If you can't put a roof over your head, you can't pay your car, you can't have a livelihood, don't buy it. I don't go in there and be like, I'm dropping all this money on here. I'm not doing that. The first thing I do is if I make any decision, it's my bills come first.
Yeah.
Me and my wife have an agreement. Bills come first. Whatever's left over is what we want to do with our money. You should enjoy your life. You should be able to enjoy what you want to do. So just keep that in mind when you're collecting. These prices are not going to go down. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
And if you have the opportunity to buy it at retail, buy it at retail. Don't wait until it's gone, because some knucklehead's going to go, it's a rare game, and it's going to cost you a lot more than what you want to pay.
Yeah, and Super Mario RPG is a good example of that. Like, the game, it was mass produced, but now that the new game is going to come out, there's going to be all these new fans that want a copy of the old one. It's going to go up. I guarantee on eBay right now it's spiked. But the game that's coming out, that's going to be mass produced, it's not going to be in production forever, but I guarantee you that one's going to keep its value as well.
Yep. Or Wario, for example, no one buys it until they want it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining our what should we call this, 1.5 podcast?
Yeah, 1.5. 1.5.
Of Middle-Aged Gamers from Dimension X. We will be doing this possibly on a weekly basis soon. We'll have the topics and things like that every week. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Please follow Ibarra at his video game console collector's field guide. You can find him on Facebook. He makes amazing console books. He showed me more consoles than I ever knew that existed, and I was so jealous of it because he had tons of them that I've never seen before. So he has a vast knowledge. Please support him in premium edition games. They give developers an opportunity to get their games produced on actual physical cartridges, and it's not like limited run, not throwing shots fired, but they give someone an opportunity to make their game on an actual platform that people play. So it's pretty cool, and I think it's an amazing job. You can follow me on GI Gamer 1981. I do silly stuff. I do reels, funny pictures. I also, keep you up to date on news and just having fun. You can find me on there. If you put GI Gamer 1981, you'll find me on Facebook. Do you have any other ones you want to give a shout out for yourself there, Barra?
No, I was just gonna say you can pick up my book if you're interested at premiumeditiongames.com. While you're there, check out the games that we have for sale. And like Coffin was saying, like, thank you guys so much for listening. This is our first, technically second, but 1.5 episode of Middle Age Gamers from Dimension X, where we talk about news, reviews, opinions, unboxings, video games, just 80s and 90s nostalgia. It doesn't matter what it is, and we're gonna have different topics every single week. We're thankful that you guys joined us, and we're gonna figure this out as we go and be a little bit more fancy as we go along. Like right now, you probably can't see me in this stream, and that's because I'm sharing my screen so that you can hear those sound effects. But I think we're going to use a different format so that you can both see us and hear everything that we're trying to get across. So we'll figure it out as we go along. But yeah, thank you guys so much. It's super fun talking about all this stuff that I love with another passionate gamer. So. Oh yeah, one thing that I didn't mention, and that I should mention, that Coffin and I were both born in October of 1981. Like, what, 2 weeks apart?
2 weeks
3 weeks apart?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I'm the older brother, though.
Yeah, pretty much. Brother from another mother.
That's right. And remember, guys, I'm going to give you my catchphrase. Please collect and open player games. Don't use them as stocks. Why do you have a game if you can't enjoy it? Don't
open
it
and see it.
Plastic. That will suffocate it. Play it. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Later.